It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NFL.
It's empty for Hurts.
Watch quarterback draw.
And here comes a blitz from Dayon. Can't get there. Intercepted. Big man. Oh, and the ball is out. And the ball is out again. And the Chargers fall on it. My goodness, that's an interception, a fumble recovery by the offense, and a fumble recovery by the defense. Let's get it all sorted out. When it's all uncovered, it's Troy Dye that's got the ball.
Do they push? Hurts under center. Hurts with a quick pitch out to Barkley. He has the first down and more. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
You're not going to catch him. You're not going to catch him. It's a 53-yard scamper by Saquon Barkley.
Hurts in the shotgun. A touchdown would win it for the Eagles. Hurts pulls it, throws. Intercepted, game over! Intercepted, game over! Game over, the fourth interception, Tony Jefferson. Unbelievable, Unk does it.
The Chargers beat the Eagles 22-19 in overtime. Whenever you lose the turnover battle 5-3, I've always said, PK, I don't know how often that happens. 8 turnovers in a game.
That's a lot, man. Wow.
But -2, that'll get you beat, and that's what Philly is. Although 5-3 is really weird, including 3 on the one play you just heard there, which is a comedy of errors.
Yeah, it hurts, man, with 4 picks. Not all of them. That last one was a tip ball. Great play. Sometimes there's great plays. But that was a wild game for not as much scoring, as good enough scoring, but not as much as you would have thought of with all those turnovers going back and forth like that. It was crazy.
It wasn't pretty. It was competitive and entertaining. It wasn't pretty. I'm not sure I'd use the word competent or excellent football. But it's late in the year, jockeying for playoff position, find a way to win, and the Chargers did in overtime, so they moved to 9-4.
Yeah, you guys got a big win, that's for sure.
Yeah, whatever. First time that's happened since 1978. You ever see anything like that? See anything like that in a college game? Whatever. I thought they had it when Barkley broke that 100. Or he ended with 122 yards and 52 of it on that touchdown.
He's a fun guy to watch
run.
play.
Yeah. He hasn't had as many of those big runs, although the last couple weeks he has. I don't know if that's the offense being better, or maybe he was playing with some injury they didn't completely talk about, and he feels better, so now he can break those off. But
I think he's the best Barkley to play in Philly.
Nice. Saquon 1, Charles 2, who's 3? Got a third Barkley in Philly?
Yeah,
Matt Barkley. Do you believe?
Yes, I do.
That the Colts will actually play 44-year-old Phillip Rivers? I mean, they need to do something. They've lost Daniel Jones to an Achilles tear. Riley Leonard, the backup, has a knee injury. They could go with Rippon. Brett Rippon's their third quarterback. They got to bring somebody in.
I would even, at this point, I'd consider Mark Rippon.
44. Well, how old is Mark Rippon, you think?
I'd say pushing 60.
60? I was going to guess like 58. Thinking the same thing. All right, well, for the Colts.
At this point, you need an Iron Man, right? So I would go with Cal Ripken.
You guys underestimated Mark Rippon. 63.
Okay. Colts have lost 3 in a row and 4 out of 5. Although they sit in a playoff spot, it appears almost inevitable
At this
they will
point,
lose
I'd see what's up with Peyton or Eli. Maybe even Cooper. Austin Collie. Bring them all back.
Bring back
Edgerrin James.
Marshall Faulk.
He played for the Colts.
Famous Colts, yeah.
I think of him as a Ram.
Yep. Famous Colts. What's Burt Jones doing?
Johnny U.
Johnny Unitas. Now you're talking. Let's get Raymond Berry out there running routes. All right, DJ and PK.
John Mackey.
Nice.
Hashtag college football.
I have tremendous respect for Miami. Great team, great school. But we were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest really business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
That, I got to say, surprised me. I'm not surprised that they were upset, but they'd come out and...
Yeah, but you're Notre Dame.
Set up the microphone. Oh, he made that.
He's Bavacqua.
He made that second best. Kurt 1, Pete 2.
He's Bavacqua.
Famous Bavacquas. Could he hit water if he fell out of a boat?
And we have to splice in some Will Hardy language.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I think that being Notre Dame, you can say that. But at the same time, you're not... You're like living together. You're not married. So you have a little snafu and you bolt. They're not married. It's not a marriage.
Nope. It's 5 football games. They're not. It's
more than that because all the other sports. They actually are married in the other sports.
In the other sports, yes. But in this one, I saw one of the it was like picking your kid over your niece or nephew. They're not all the way into the family.
If I'm your Mark, I'm on the phone. If it permanent damage.
Permanent damage.
That is a phrase that sticks with you.
It does.
Yeah, I can remember in 2007, you really got under my skin, and you did our relationship permanent damage, and I've never forgotten it.
Okay.
So that type of stuff stays with you. And it's a crazy situation. That's why I'm okay with Notre Dame doing this boycott, because I think it sends a message that Boise State couldn't send, or whomever couldn't send. Utah couldn't send.
Yeah.
BYU couldn't send.
Nope. It takes somebody of Notre Dame's stature to say, I just have a hard time believing they're going to stop playing ACC teams and pivot.
Well, if
but I had a hard time believing they said,
what's the difference, though?
Once you said that, but like you said, once you go out and say permanent damage on purpose, maybe they will. Maybe they're taking it that much worse than I would have thought.
Yeah. If it leads, it could just be words, and there's really no meat behind it in terms of anything that you're going to do to change it.
The bark is worse than the bite.
We'll have to see.
Barked about it.
And that's been the story of my life. I am all bark. Very, very little bite.
The coaching carousel. How much you care that TCU offensive coordinator Kendall Briles is leaving to become South Carolina's new offensive coordinator? How much does that set back TCU, you think?
He's thought of as a very good coordinator. Followed him a little bit. Obviously, he's the son of Art. But Sonny Dykes is an offensive guy, and so see who he gets in there type of situation.
And how much his imprint's all over it anyway?
Right. Yeah.
He's not going to let it fall apart.
Sonny's made his mark through the offensive end.
When coaches lose coordinators on their side of the ball, whatever it is, they're there to make sure things keep going. But when they lose a coordinator on the other side of the ball, that's when things can get wild. Teams can drop off. You surprised that Lane Kiffin's letting LSU assistants, who he took with him from Ole Miss, go back to Ole Miss to coach a playoff game?
No.
Trying to smooth things over? Even he feels a little bit of heat?
He took some rep hit. And I do think that he has an affinity for the boys, the actual boys who are playing the game, not the adults, the boys, the guys who he's built relationships with 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years. And so you would be an absolute 1,000% cold-hearted if you didn't have any minimal, but I think it would be more minimal to the guys who you coached, that we were there with day in, day out for, as I say, up to 5 or 6 years, depending. Some of them not as much, obviously. So, no, why not? It'll be interesting to see if they win a couple of games, and then it lingers a little bit.
Then it does linger.
The portal was going. But, he can do a lot of it. And they take so many of these analyst dudes that they call them.
It's not like there's no staff left.
Right. And so you don't need on-the-field coaching right now. What you need is roster assembling, all
but
sorts of
But you presumably
rumors.
have hired a general manager who's going to have a big say.
Right. And so we're seeing guys like Dillingham came out he did a press conference yesterday, and basically, they've lost 2 captains, 3 starters, and he's saying it's nuts. The only thing that's staying is the money. In fact, the money's going up, and they don't have the money to pay these guys. And you'd have to think that LSU does. So here's some talent. Can you poach these guys? That's what it's all about. We go from coaching carousel season to poaching season.
Yes. And that's the new world order. And as much as recruiting day is exciting and all that, it's the poaching season where the championship teams are going to be built.
I think it's both. I think that you need both. You can't rely on poaching.
You can't get all.
But it can make a big difference. We've seen some kids now for Utah. Obviously, Isaac Wilson doesn't look like he has a future at Utah, so that seems natural that he would put his name in there. I know he did last year, but I would think this year he'd be gone. We'll see who has an opportunity to, not necessarily, I wouldn't say bid for his services, but are interested in his services.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Do you care about the kids? Dylan Harper with a game-winning lay-in, offsetting Derek Queen's 33-point triple-double with 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Spurs and Pelicans, the most recent draft, on full display.
Well, the Spurs are a good team. They've got some guys out right now, and Harper has an opportunity to take advantage of that. And he, at least from the layup perspective, the game winner he did. As I say, I expect certainly the Spurs to be a factor for the next few years. And New Orleans is so bad. Their record, what is it, like 3-22?
Yep.
I mean, it is really just
bad. And
awful.
They don't have their draft pick.
Well, but if you're going to get Derek Queen, that's the one who they gave to give it up. If
Yep.
you're going to go for 33, 10, and 10, you'll give up the draft pick.
I still think they could be better than 3-22, and they're not dumping the games on purpose because they're not the one who's going to get the draft pick.
I'm not following it. I don't know what they're doing, to tell you the truth.
The Spurs, with all the Wembayama's been out since mid-November, and they've been really good. 8-3. They were 8-4 when he went out, and they've gone 8-3 since then. So this is a great stretch of basketball from them.
The best.
DJ and PK.
Whoa. You see that Gobert thing?
He threw an elbow. Ejected.
Why he's up in the air? You can't do that. He loses his mind.
Angry? Payback for something that happened earlier?
Not while Mark Williams is in the air. That's an absolute 1,000% no-no.
He's
also do that.
He's also now, they have a point system for flagrant fouls. He's now 1 point away from automatic suspension. Yeah.
Rudy, man, getting a little cantankerous over there in Minnesota.
DJ PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
BYU and Clemson, Madison Square Garden, Jimmy V Classic. Another high-profile event for the BYU basketball team.
Well, this is the last one until conference season. I think they got a bunch of dogs between now and then. And Clemson's got 2 guys with Utah connection. If I'm not mistaken, both of them are LDS missionaries.
Carter Welling and Jake Wallin, yep.
And Wallin he's a Provo kid, right?
Yes, originally committed to BYU.
And went to Utah and took off. And then Welling's a kid, I saw him play high school ball at Corner Canyon, then went to Irvine, and I think he did a mission there. Then did UVU, and he's a big man, and so he got paid. So it's funny, they're playing Clemson in the Garden of all places, and they've got a couple of Utah connections on Clemson's team. You wouldn't think that.
You would not think that, but welcome to the New World Order, right?
Yeah. In fact, I would argue that Clemson would play more return missionaries in this game than BYU.
Oh, nice. Look at you go. Counting heads and counting missions.
You got Saunders, and I think that's it.
2-1.
Because Baker's out, and it looks like he's out for the season, I guess.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. So imagine, who would have thought in 2025 in Madison Square Garden, of all places, the world's most famous arena. I've been there many times as a kid. I haven't been there in many years, but had gone, used to people, family, whatever, take me to see the Knicks. I don't think I ever went to a game there with my father. We didn't have the money, but others did, and I was friends with the mayor's son, as I told you, and he had tickets, so I'd been to the Garden a few times. And then to have Clemson have more return missionaries in their lineup than BYU. That's shocking. It is. It's shocking.
It's completely out of left field.
It's shocking.
There is literally nothing that would make you think that would be true, and yet here we are.
I have no problem with it. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm just pointing it out. I know sometimes when I speak, and I'm my tone, thinking, oh my gosh, that's outrageous. Heads must roll. Well, I'm not saying that at all. I mean, Kevin Young was brought in to win basketball games, and if that's what he decides to do, I'm fine with it, but I'm just saying it's an observation that is extremely odd in this day and age.
In this day and age. You and the movie lines. All right, tip-off is early. This game's at 4:30 on ESPN.
Good, I'm going to watch it.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Utah Mammoth lose at home to the Kings 4-2. Gave up 2 goals in the first period. Had one waved off. A wild celebration, but offside. They reviewed it, took it away. And they spent the rest of the night chasing. They got goals from Dylan Gunther, Clayton Keller. They got to 2-1. They got down 3-1 and made it 3-2, but they could not get over the hump. They lose 4-2. And they're at home now, PK, where we thought possibly that would make a difference, but they're also without Cooley now.
For an extended period. They did
certainly
not,
extended. They said indefinite.
They did not give a timeline. I was hoping for 3 to 5, but who knows?
Watching the leg whiplash, I mean, that was hyperextension. It looked like it wrapped around the post there. That was
giving him a medical evaluation?
Not good. Yeah, it reminded me, actually, of watching Tony Beltran, which actually ended his career. I don't think this is that bad.
You know, that's exactly what I thought of Tony Beltran. You know?
His leg went around.
First I thought of Carlos Beltran, then I transferred it over to Tony.
His leg whipped around a player who he didn't know was going to be there, and he ended up with 2 torn ligaments and torn cartilage and never played again.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah. It would be weird if the NHL takes a long break for the Olympics and then doesn't send players to the Olympics. I don't think they could change the schedule on the fly. Maybe they could, but the NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley says participation of NHL players in the Olympic Games will be determined by the quality of the ice that's being finished in Italy. Currently, it's expected to be finished February 2nd, with women's hockey games set to go 3 days later, the men 9 days later. If the players feel the ice is unsafe to play, then we're not going to play. It's as simple as that, Bill Daley said.
All right, we'll have to monitor that. That would be a major development, obviously.
That would be a major development if suddenly there was no Olympic hockey because a bunch of players don't want to play.
Well, Olympic hockey is like the premier event.
Yeah.
That and the corrupt judges in the figure skating.
How can they know the quality of the ice, the building isn't done? I mean, I know the surface is going to be 3 feet shorter. That wasn't the deal.
I think you roll the puck.
Rough ice,
and if you roll
uneven
the
ice.
puck and it doesn't go very far, something's skewed. Yeah.
They said they have NHL officials monitoring it as they're building this thing out, but they're hoping to test it in the 3 days between the finish date and the start of the women's tournament.
That's what's trending, brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. You want to give one more shout out here?
Yeah, I did. I think we need to shout out Beth Lanier, Utah women's volleyball, retiring after 36 years. That is just in a staggering amount of time. The advancements, we should get her on to talk about this too. What she must have seen from when basketball or volleyball started when she first got into coaching, and there's the progression and the advancements of women's sports at the collegiate level has just been enormous, all for the good, I think. And to have her be there, I sent a little text her way. I said, "What's the matter? You couldn't get to 40? You slacker?" I used to cover her way back when. She got a good sense of humor. But she's a legend in volleyball, man, to be there 36 years. And how many women you have coached, you couldn't even come close to naming them all. Hundreds. This is amazing. We'll never see this again.
36 years is an outrageous total.
Yeah.
I mean, half of that would be a massive career.
And obviously you have to have success, or longevity equals success. They got to go hand in hand. And to see all the changes just from the conferences she's been through.
She went whack to Mountain West, to Pac-12 to Big 12, yeah.
And everything
and
involved
now to the
in
transfer portal
and see the sport now. The games are televised. The playoffs are on the cable stuff, and you get to watch them and all.
She played in tiny gymnasiums at one point, and then saw the sport go outdoors when Nebraska had that packed game in a football stadium. She's seen all kinds of transitions.
Yeah, and they got a great environment there. The Crimson's Court. I've been up there many times to watch them play.
What is trending? Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, coming up, Chris Hill is going to join us in studio. Man, football is changing on the fly now. Over the course of his career, which wasn't 36 years at the U, but it was pretty close, and he hired Beth. He's seen a lot of changes to the football postseason. What would he suggest, having watched this? And what does he think the pressure points are that maybe we're missing? His take on Notre Dame and what they have to say, I think, will be really interesting. He's going to join us in studio at 8:30. It's a Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to watch the Jazz and the Lakers. They play December 18th at the Delta Center. We'll do that coming up as well. The question of the day is next. Stick around for Hot Takes or Toast.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Don't miss your chance to win big every week on the KSL Sports Zone. This week, it's a Win Tickets Wednesday with a win before you can buy them. Tickets to Toto, Christopher Cross, and the Romantics at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on August 21st. Tickets go on sale Friday, December 5th at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
Tickets go on sale Friday, December 5th. That would have been the last week.
Then they would be on sale.
Went. Go with your past for it. Tense.
Yeah.
The Romantics. What I like about you. You keep me warm at night. No, you make me feel all right. Yeah.
Question of the morning. Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish. First, they won't play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Now they may not play the ACC. Permanent damage. Should Notre Dame be going off like this? Brooks says it isn't personal. Notre Dame pulled out of the bowl game before they knew who they were playing.
Oh, for BYU? Oh, I think it has nothing to do with BYU. It's not related to BYU. It's business.
It's business. They have a bunch of NFL prospects, and those NFL players.
Tell Kalani, I always liked them.
Those NFL players are just saying, "Hey, I'm not playing in a bowl game. Forget about it."
BYU or Notre Dame's trying to make a statement, and so the opponent was irrelevant to the statement.
So that's what intrigued me, because when I first heard it, I thought Notre Dame was trying to make a statement.
Yeah.
And then they put out that, well, it's because our players are a lot of them are going to opt out.
Oh no, that's
cop out.
Yeah. They just
maybe it's a minor issue, but the primary issue.
Sure, your players are going to. Everybody has players that are going to opt out, but it's not like you can't field a team. You Notre Dame. I mean, you have all the resources, so you've got the maximum amount that is allowed. No, I think it is a situation when they got a freshman quarterback. He ain't opting out. I don't think he can opt out. I mean, I guess he could, but relative to the NFL draft I'm talking about, I believe he's a redshirt freshman. So you got to, unless he didn't enroll right out of high school, he still has to wait a year. So with the rules for the NFL, I think it's more about a political statement that they're trying to make, and they're miffed and all that. And I think they have every right to be miffed. BYU should be miffed. I think BYU should have made more of a stink and not be so
accommodating,
placid in their responses. Be a little more aggressive. I don't have any problem with that. But this has nothing related to BYU. And now BYU. Yeah, the good thing about BYU is they get a ranked team in there. Georgia Tech's ranked in the 20s, are they not?
They are.
So I was talking to somebody Sunday, I think it was. I can't remember who it was because I was traveling and speaking to people at airports and at stadiums and whatnot. And to me, it was about the bowls now. It's about opponent. It's not about who knows the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I don't know and in 5 years it'll be whoever wants to sponsor it there. So at least it's Orlando. It's on the other side of the country from you, but it is a warmer area, and they got the Disney World and all that stuff. So that would be fun. as far as that goes.
If you want to make a trip out of it, it's a place to go.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the
for
team.
the player experience.
And bowls, they take everybody and their dog.
Yeah.
It's like it's a celebration.
The playoffs are a business trip.
Yeah.
And the bowls are a party.
No, and they'll take your wife, your kids, and whatever. So you get an opportunity to go there and enjoy it. Who was it? Corinne Reed for Utah when they ended up the season last year, a very disappointing season for them. And he was a senior, and he's married, and his family, they all went and then stayed after. Played the game on Saturday, and then they stayed after. It was Thanksgiving weekend last year, and had an opportunity to, I think they might have even played on a Friday. I don't remember.
They did.
So they had that opportunity to hang out there for a couple more days and have some fun that way. So that's cool and all that. And the bottom line for the youngsters that are playing the game is it's another opportunity to play a game. To me, I'm not really caught up in those bowl results anymore.
It's hard to be. I mean, the opt-outs just keep growing. I tried to ignore them for a while, but you can't. Every year, it's more guys, and you're playing half a team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, because we do look at, like, okay, they got a young quarterback, and he'll play. But does it matter if they're missing 3 starting linemen?
It could.
Or if they're missing 3 defensive linemen or, whatever.
But I still
having
think
a position group hit really hard is a major problem.
The philosophy and identity of your program is such that it should be in a manner, it should be approached in a professional manner. This is what we do, and we're playing a game, and therefore we're going to go all out within the context of all out to win the game. You don't make a mockery of competition. You never, ever do that. Because that just sends a horrible message. What does one think of? It's, we didn't do these things that we normally do. Whittingham is big on that. You're going to make any changes? No. I mean, they ever ask him, you're going to make any changes? No. I mean, he can be 80 years old. Hey, you going to make any changes? No. I mean, you do what you do, right? And this is the way I live my life. This is the way I coach my team. And this is the way I run my program. Coaching team and running a program are very important. So I think that from that perspective, you should maintain that, knowing that it's not the same because you don't have your guys. Like I said yesterday, ASU had 3 starters just opt out. And so they're going to go ahead and play Duke. But you still approach it as if you are all out to win. And if you win, great. But if you don't, I don't necessarily think it puts a negative mark on your season. The Bulls have been downgraded to the level of, who cares from that perspective. Maybe for Utah State, because you'd rather be above 500 than below it.
I think the stakes are higher for G5 teams than they are for power teams. Now, the G5 games can be impacted by opt-outs, and they have guys going into the transfer portal, and they do have some NFL guys on some of those teams, or at least guys with NFL hopes. So those games can still be impacted, but if there's 12 teams getting into playoffs, and it's 2 G5s this year. Normally it's 1 G5, so maybe there were 3 or 4 G5s who thought they were fighting for that. But for most teams, the bowl's the goal. It's what they're always fighting for. It's a different deal. I mean, in the power leagues, it's absolutely a consolation prize. And if you're rebuilding a program, it can be seen as a stepping stone. Rich Rod at West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't think it's a consolation for the power programs because there's only maybe 15 that will ever have a shot. They're no different than the G5s. It's a consolation for Arizona? Absolutely not.
Okay, but they're building a program.
Everyone is building a program. You're never not building a program.
Arizona's come off a bad year, and they needed to get bowl eligible. I don't think they ever thought they were going to the playoff. How many
Why
teams?
would they ever? They've never went to the Rose Bowl. Why would they ever think they're going to the playoff? They've never been close.
Well, if they're coming off a good year with a good quarterback, hope lives, PK. Even if you don't think it's realistic, inside a program, hope can live.
You can think
not
whatever
for
you
them
want.
this year.
No, I don't think it's a consolation.
Okay.
Isn't it a consolation? It's I don't see that at all. You're always building. You're always trying to establish momentum. You are perpetually selling. You're never not selling.
I buy that. And for the guys who opt out, I buy that for the backups. It's a chance to show they can play either to their current coaches or maybe they have new coaches coming in or because the transfer portal looms. So it's an opportunity for those guys. I think all those things exist. But I think the reason that you say you've devalued this in your mind, is because they are a consolation prize.
They are not a consolation prize. The result of the game, I don't. But I never get caught up in results anyway. That's just me. No, if you could have seen the U of A basketball team played Auburn over the weekend, and you can go look it up, and you can see it, and they put Brennan there, and you would have thought he was Bruce Pearl taking off his shirt and coloring himself in red.
Yeah.
He was going nuts. This is not a consolation prize. This is actually a highlight for Arizona. The Holiday Bowl is one of the best bowls they've ever gone to.
And I buy that for the teams that don't have hope and are building a program and coming off of, what were they coming off of, 3 or 4 wins?
But the year before, they were coming off 10 wins. So, I mean,
it's all dog years now.
Okay, but that's just like Utah then. They came off a dog year last year.
They view themselves differently after 4 trips to the Conference Bowl, and they thought they had a playoff team. I mean, the bitter disappointment, it was playoffs all the way. We sat here and talked about it after they lost to Texas Tech, and you said it's 1 game. I'm like, yeah, but the mulligan's gone, and they got a lot of games to play.
Okay,
and
so ask Kyle. You'll have an opportunity. Ask him, is this a consolation prize?
He'll never say that into a microphone.
I didn't say
but I think
stick a microphone in front of his face. That's
okay.
You have opportunities and relationships. You don't need to ask him public. I never said it in a microphone.
Right. Okay.
I just said ask him. You extrapolated, and I don't appreciate you extrapolations.
My extrapolations are the best extrapolations.
I never said
they are
a
fine.
Microphone.
They are even great extrapolations.
And you don't do a microphone anymore. Those days are over.
Yeah, but when you're sitting there on a Monday at a press conference, microphone. There'll be microphones around.
Hence, I never said.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying now.
I don't think so. I still think it's a reward. Utah can dream about the playoff, and they've made approximately 0 appearances in the playoff.
Yep.
So really, they're no different than Arizona because Arizona has made 0 appearances in the playoff. You can think and believe who you are, what you are, whatever you want. I'm whatever I am. Doesn't matter that what you think and what's reality. The fact is, most of these teams have 0 shot or maybe minimal shot at getting to the playoff. Now, you can also argue here that they've never had a better chance because there literally is an automatic qualifier. You don't have to have a beauty contest. You can get in by simply doing one thing, and what ASU and Tech has done this year. So you can be in, and though from that perspective, they've got legitimate chances, but that's only one team right now. And until I see otherwise, until we expand, I don't think the Big 12 is going to be knocking on the door of 2 teams. Hey, Yormark, he fully expected to have 2 teams. You can say whatever you want and believe whatever you want, but belief doesn't transform to reality all the time.
I'm totally with you on this. The Big 12 is a 1-bid league. It's been devalued. It may be unfair, but it's the way it is, and I don't see it changing. And you're right. Until they get a second bid, I'm not going to believe they're getting a second bid.
And when
and I actually thought that 11-1 would get you in, and BYU got to 11-1 and didn't get in. So in a way, I think less of the Big 12's chances at the end of the season than I did at the start, and I wasn't in love with their chances at the start of the season.
I can buy that. I mean, the numbers bear out what you're saying. There's no question. I think you have to look at bowls in a life perspective here. You're with a group of guys that this is it.
Yep.
And people are going to scatter. Look at your high school friends here. How many do you still have relationships with, right? You were tight and, oh, man, we're going to stay. And then life goes on. You go in different directions. You and I have moved. This is my 4th freaking state. There's a guy here in town that I went to high school with, and then we text. And that's kind of a fluke. Other than that, nobody else. And so same thing here. Guys, especially guys who aren't from here, they're going to take off most likely. So you have this opportunity to be together one more time. You can go have some fun with them. And when the ball goes up, Nobody's thinking consolation prize. That's the beauty. That's why college football, the ratings continue, the interest continues. They couldn't have screwed this up anymore if they wanted to. They have screwed it up so bad.
And yet.
But when that ball goes up,
we're going to watch.
Everybody in there is into it, and the players aren't thinking, well, wait a second, man. This guy, I'm the right tackle and the right guard's making $50,000 more than me. Screw this. No. When the ball goes up, that's why we're in. You know, in football, basketball, when it's dropped, when the puck is dropped, when the first pitch is thrown, whatever sport, it's the competition, and it's Joe Blow, who loosely represents your school, still has your uniform on that says Utah or whatever it is.
Got the
and
logo.
To the fan, that means I am a Ute. You may be a transactional Ute, but I am a Ute forever. Ever. I have been one since I was a teen, and I will be one until I drop dead. And that means something to you. So it's more, and when you watch the game, whoever it is, Ute fans, and we're talking about them, come December 31st at, 1:30 in the afternoon, I think here, 12:30 Vegas time, I'll be down there covering it. You're going to watch it. And it's not going to be like the Big 12 title game, or it's not going to be like BYU in the regular season, but you're still going to want to win. And everyone is building. I don't know who isn't building. There's maybe a few teams that aren't. It's championship or bust. But for 95%, no.
Well, some aren't playing in the bowls because they are building. And that's what Iowa State and Kansas State are saying, and they're paying a fine to do it. But it's like, hey, we got a new staff. We got to focus on guys in the portal. We got to.
Yeah, but I think that's an exception.
It seems to be a clear trend. We expected players to opt out 5 years ago. Now we got teams opting out. There's 3 of them. There's 5 and 7 teams turning down a chance to go.
Yeah, because their season's been over for 3 weeks. They've scattered.
That is a problem. But we've still seen other 5 and 7 teams embrace it.
No, 1 or 2?
Yeah. I would say in total probably 4 or 5.
The numbers are so small.
1 or 2 per year. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's them. We're talking about the teams that are playing. We're not talking about the teams that aren't playing. If they don't want to embrace it, fine. But over here, go have some fun and enjoy your companionships with your fellow teammates and so forth.
And we'll get Bronco Mendenhall back on the air, but he went straight to that in his press conference. This is one last chance to be together with these people. He left out a part about scattering, but it was implied. It was understood.
Well, of course.
Yeah. He's not going to highlight that. That's not his job.
It's just a natural evolution of life.
Yep. I mean, you always had 20, 25% of the team turning over, but in the portal era, especially with the G5 schools, it's going to be half again.
It tends to be that way, yeah.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Talk about all this with Chris Hill. He'll be in studio with us at 8:30. Stay with us right here on The Zone.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, artist of the day, Donnie Osmond. Happy birthday, Donnie. He is 68.
What a guy, Donnie Osmond. Yeah, international celebrity. And to his credit, and I'm sure there's stuff that he's had to go through because everybody does, he's maintained about as normal as a life in a most abnormal situation that he's grown up in. I give him credit for
growing up in a showbiz family. Yeah.
Well, under the spotlight since a young boy and, wife and kids and all that stuff. And that on the surface, and I'm sure he's had problems because everyone does. And I don't know what they are, nor is none of my business. But to live essentially in that realm about as normal of a life as you can live in an abnormal realm,
It's a little bit of an accomplishment right there.
I admire him.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I admire him.
Yeah.
And I saw his show. I saw he and his sister's show, and I love the self-deprecation. He's making fun of himself the whole time. And obviously he's wildly talented. That's not the issue. But, he has no problem not taking himself seriously while he's being serious, if that makes sense.
Band of the Day brought to you by Live Nation. For all the live concerts and events in 2025, check out livenation.com. Got a lot of feedback rolling in here. Notre Dame opting out of a bowl game one day, telling the ACC permanent damage has been done to the relationship the next day. You really think there could be a Big 12 scheduling agreement? Or they're just making noise? What does your gut instinct tell you? Because my immediate assumption was they're just making noise. I can't believe you really said that out loud, and I can't believe you'd follow through on it. And that's probably me living on the wrong side of the country, not getting – I mean, I know there's intensity and passion around Notre Dame, but not fully embracing how much intensity and passion is around Notre Dame football.
Well, I didn't grow up in Indiana or Chicago, obviously.
But New York, New Jersey,
right.
it's intense.
And
that's why it was
Notre
side
Dame
of the
was
country.
a big deal.
Right.
I mean, it was, in my world, Notre Dame was massive.
In my brain, the whole Northeast and Midwest is Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame's got a bazillion fans in the South or the West. I mean, they've got fans, obviously, but not like they have in the Midwest and the Northeast.
And Notre Dame was everything. I didn't really get into college sports until the 80s, and long, way after you did, and because it was such a heavy pro sports area, and still is, and it was so dominant, and because you had two teams of everything, right, and it was such a big deal, and colleges were sort of fractionalized means, whereas everybody came together over the Knicks and the Yankees and the Giants and blah, blah, blah. But Notre Dame, you always knew who Notre Dame's quarterback is. It's like here, people always knew who BYU's quarterback is. You can go and talk to BYU fans, and they can take, from the 1960s on, they can name you every single one, almost like off the top of their head. Well, Notre Dame, you knew that for sure. It was such a big, big deal. I don't know the level of threat, but that doesn't matter to me. Yormark is an East Coast guy himself. He's got to have relationships with these people. He should be investigating it.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, if he thinks there's a 0.5% chance, then he and his staff have got to work at it. Let's go.
And he needs to do it personally because Notre Dame, if you had an opportunity to have Notre Dame come to your stadium, that's a huge, huge deal.
It's going to sell a lot of tickets and a lot of luxury suites.
Right.
It's also going to make your TV contract worth more money, and it's going to be up for negotiation at the end of the decade.
Yes.
I don't know how quickly I don't know how quickly Notre Dame could pull out of all of their deals. They can pull out of a bowl game with BYU much easier, more quickly, and just, we're out. But with these TV deals, and I don't know, it seems to me like they're banging on the table, but I don't think they can actually get up and walk away. But Yormark's got to make the call.
To me, I would think that the Big 12 would be a better fit anyway. Right now, it's a better football league, and nobody would argue it's not a better basketball league. And maybe, I haven't studied this, but maybe the travel might be more conducive, maybe not, to all these other, what they call non-rev or Olympic sports. It's ridiculous to have the tennis team, as we've seen with our schools on the West Coast, have to do all that. And my goodness gracious, you've had the basketball and football coaches complain about it.
So you can imagine what tennis and volleyball coaches are thinking.
Yeah. And those guys, the high profiles are saying this is too much here, but seize an opportunity. And maybe if there's no opportunity, it's like, well, okay, well, at least you checked it out.
Yep.
But permanent damage, that's a phrase that draws you in. We all know what permanent damage means on the surface. It may not mean it the same, and it may not mean the same next week.
But it catches your ear. I'm not surprised they came out and said, we're mad, we can't believe they said that. That would be 0% surprising. But
that's emotion.
Permanent damage.
And doing it the day after?
Yeah.
They really feel like they got screwed. And you can argue, well, we got screwed too, blah, 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 blah. I get all that.
But they didn't expect
take away from
the
their feelings.
ACC to do the lobbying. They even made the point of, like, we get if Miami lobbies. Schools lobby. Their school's going to lobby for them. Our school's going to lobby for us. But the conference would weigh in.
You owe us?
Yeah. Because Notre Dame basketball showing up is a deal, and Notre Dame football showing up is a massive deal.
It is.
Well, then, don't.
Yeah,
don't.
We bring you value.
Yes.
We basically, what's the word? We not.
Oh, I thought the phrase was "you owe us." Don't put your thumb on the scale.
We graced you with our presence.
Yeah.
And this is the way you respond?
Right.
We gave you something that is extremely valuable.
Right.
You hosted a party for someone, and then that person turned around and stabbed you in the back later.
You love that one. Although I do feel like that's what happened. I didn't say you were wrong. I just said you love it.
Well, I was stunned. I witnessed it.
I was surprised, too.
I stood in the living room, the expansive living room, not as big as this new living room, but I stood there, and then to have the person come back and then just try to just undercut you like that, I thought, wow, that is awful.
You
That's
didn't need to write the blog and take those shots.
Yeah, that was unacceptable. You would not do that to someone who extended something to you. And I'm thinking, the more I think about it, that's what Notre Dame is thinking.
Notre Dame
we
definitely.
did this we tried to help you, build you up, and then you turn around and do this to us?
Yeah. You helped us a little while we helped you a lot. I think that's what they feel.
The more I think about it, the more I get what Bavakla is saying.
You just sang right from John Lund to Tommy Lasorda.
Bavakla! Hey, Bavakla!
Every time I got nothing personal against Kurt Bavakla, but it kind of hurts.
What?
Because and this isn't his fault. I mean, but it's for the I can't even do the math. I'm doing math on it. I think the Padres have been around for 56 seasons now. They've been to 2 World Series. They've played 9 games. They've won 1 game. Bavakla hit a 3-run homer into the stands in left center field. Not just over the wall, but I think he put it up above the 17-foot permanent wall. He got it.
I understand.
One.
At the old stadium.
World Series win in 50. Yeah, in the old stadium. 1 World Series win, 56 years. Kurt Bavakla. He didn't swing that bat. I think it was in the 7th inning. Might have been the 6th. It was late in the game. He didn't hit that. 0 World Series. 0.
You don't know that. You assume everything beyond that.
Yep.
You've just told me there could have been a possibility of 9 more outs.
All I think is Kurt Bavakla, World Series win. The only one ever.
Yeah, but he got under Tommy's skin.
He did, which I thought was surprising.
And you can go listen to that. It's out there.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It really is.
Not safe for work, but it's hilarious.
I played it for my guys at my golfing buddies that I do on my league. And
they were rolling.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff never happens anymore, does it?
Not
press
to that
conferences
degree.
Like that? No.
Not to that degree.
People calm down when they go to press conferences.
I mean,
these
because
days.
everything they know is immediately going to go. Like we'll just talk about this. Look at the Will Hardy thing. That has exploded in NBA world.
Yeah.
And what he did Sunday.
Good for Will.
And that's universally the thought process. But I came across something else that said, hey, wait a second here.
All right, we will get to that next. I can't wait to hear, hey, wait a second here. We will get to that on the other side. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.